Hello Year 6, welcome to your maths video for Thursday. Okay, so before we get started on today's lesson, I have got a countdown challenge for you. Okay, so I'll send out the link again with your video link on Marvellous Me. And this, let's have a look at what our number is. Okay, let's pick our numbers. Okay, so we've got 75, we've got 2 sevens, 3, 50 and 2. See what our target is. 212. Okay, see if you can do it. So pause the video now, jot your numbers down, see if you can make 212 using those numbers. Okay, remember you can add, subtract, multiply or divide and only use the numbers once. Okay, so remember, do this one and then you can always click on the link and do another one if you fancy the challenge. Okay, right, let's have a look then at your work for today. So your learning question for today is, can I use percentages to compare amounts? So we're carrying on with percentages. You did a brilliant job yesterday. It was great to see that lots of you watched my video and did the questions that I set on the board. So we're carrying on with pages 36 and 37 today, okay, and it's still using percentages, but in a slightly different way. So I've got a couple of questions on my board that I want to go over with you first, show you the method to how to work them out, and then you'll be able to apply that in your work for today. Okay, so the first question I want to have a look at together is this one. So it says, this model is made with 20 cubes. What percentage of the cubes in the model is black? Okay, so we know there's 20 cubes altogether and we want to know what percentage is black. Okay, so first of all, we need to know how many are black. So we know there's 20 overall, we know there's 20 in total, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of them are black. So 7 out of 20 are black. Okay, so your fraction would be 7 over 20. But we don't want a fraction, we want a percentage. Okay, now a percentage is out of 100, isn't it? A full percent, a full amount is 100%. So 20 goes into 100 how many times? Okay, so you times 20 by 5 to get 100, don't you? So then you have to do the same to the top. So 7 times 5 is 35. 35 over 100 is 35%, isn't it? Remember, if it's over 100, then it's finished. And it's 35%. And that would be your answer. Okay, so today in some of your questions, you are going to have to do something similar to this, where you're going to have to change it so that it's over 100 and then multiply the top by the same amount. Okay, let's have a look at another question. This one says, write the missing percentage. Okay, so the original price was £60. It's been reduced by 1%, but we don't know. And it's now £45. Okay, so you need to figure out what that's been reduced by. So the original price was 60 and it's now 45. Okay, so our fraction would be 45 over 60. But 60 doesn't go into 100, does it? Okay, so you would have to simplify your fraction first and then change it so it's over 100. Okay, so what can we divide both of those by? Let's have a think. We could divide them both by 5, couldn't we? So 45 divided by 5 is 9, and 60 divided by 5 is 12. I think we can still simplify that. We could divide them both by 3, couldn't we? So 9 divided by 3 is 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Okay, so 3/4, that's the smallest it can go. Now we can change it so it's over 100. Okay, so what do you multiply 4 by to get to 100? It's 25, isn't it? Because 4 times 25 is 100. So you'd need to do 3 times 25, which is 75. So your answer for this question would be 75%. Okay? Let's have a look at one more question together. And this question is very similar to your first question on page 36. Okay, so once we've gone through this one, you can pause the video and have a go at this question because it's very, very similar. So this one says, a 50-gram birthday cake contains 12 grams of sugar. A 40-gram cheesecake has 10 grams of sugar. Work out which item has the highest percentage of sugar. So you're going to have to work out the percentage for both the birthday cake and the cheesecake. Okay, so let's have a look then. So we've got 50 grams of the cake, the whole cake is 50 grams, and 12 grams of it is sugar. Okay, so our fraction then, before we do anything else, is going to be 12 over 50, isn't it? Okay, so then we need to change it so it's over 100. So we multiply that by 2, so we multiply that by 2. So that would be 24%. Okay, so that is for the birthday cake. Let's do the other one then. So the cheesecake is a 40 grams overall, and 10 grams of it is sugar. So you do, hang on, let's just move so we've got more space. So it was 10 grams sugar overall, it was 40 grams. 40 doesn't go into 100, so we're going to have to simplify it. So I'm going to divide them both by 10. 4 does go into 100, so I know I've simplified it far enough. Change it so it's over 100. So 4 into 100 goes 25 times, doesn't it? So 1 times 25 is 25. So your answer for the cheesecake would be 25%. Okay? So let's just put our answer there. So that would be 25%. So remember, your question was, work out which item has the higher percentage of sugar. So it's this one, isn't it? 25 is higher than 24. So my answer for that one, would be cheesecake. Okay? So your first question on page 36 is very, very similar to this one. Okay, so you've got a cake and a pastry. So work out the percentage of fat in the cake, work out the percentage of fat in the pastry, and then work out which one has got more. Okay, so remember, put the amount of fat over the amount of in the whole cake, and then change it so it's over 100. Question 2 then. Arthur's DVD collection contains 20% comedies, 75% dramas, and 5% adventure films. Arthur owns 10 adventure films. Okay. Just highlight that so we know. How many DVDs does he have in his whole collection? Okay, so because we know he had 5% adventure films, and that means 10, we know that 5%, in this gap, 5% equals 10 films. Okay, that's what we know. From that information, that's what we know. Okay, so we now need to do 100, because we know we're working with 100%, aren't we? Divided by 5, because that's how many percentages it was. So 100 divided by 5 is 20. Okay, and then if you multiply that by 10, that will give you your answer. Okay, so you finish that one off. The next part of this question then says Layla's DVD collection contains 40% comedies, 35% dramas, and 25% adventure films. Who has more comedies? Explain your answer. Okay, so in the last part then, in Arthur's part, You were told that he had 10 adventure films. So then you could use that to help you work out how many comedies he's got. Okay, but have you been given any information about how many films Layla has got? You've only been told the percentages, haven't you? So you actually can't give an answer. You actually can't say who has more comedies because you haven't been told how many films Layla's got overall or how many of each one she's got. Okay, so you just need to explain something about that in that one. You say you can't tell because something about you haven't been told how many of any DVD Layla has got. The next bit then says Layla says that she has 170 DVDs. Explain why Layla must be wrong. So you're going to have to try and work it out. So if 35% of them are drama, okay, so let's just write that down and remember that the fact from the previous part. Okay, let's work out 35% of 170. Okay, so remember to work out 30%, we'd find 10% and multiply it by 3. So 10% would be 17. 17 times 3. Move it down a little bit. 17 times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. 1 times 3 is 3. Add the 2 is 5. So 30% would be 51. And then we need 5%, don't we? 10% is 17. So you need to do half of 17 and add it on. Okay. So half of 17 would be 8.5, wouldn't it? Then you'd need to do 51. Here. 51 add 8.5. Okay. And that would be 59.5, wouldn't it? Okay. And that's 35%. Okay. Can you get... Hang on, let me get my highlighter. Can you get 0.5 of a DVD? I mean, you could get half a DVD, but I don't think it'd be very good. Okay, so that's a bit of a hint to the answer to your question. On page 37 then, it says the table below shows how many minutes Erin and Jack spend playing different sports every week. Okay, and then you've got this table. It says who spends the greatest percentage of their time, of their sports time, doing athletics. So we're only thinking about this part. But before you can do anything, you need to add up these. Okay, so if you add up these, so 60 add 72 add 18, it would be 150. And if you do 54 add 27 add 9, it would be 90. Okay, you need that because that's the overall amount. So that's the number that would go on the bottom of your fraction. Okay, so who spends the greatest percentage of their sports time doing athletics? So for Erin, you would do 18 over 150. Okay, and for Jack, you would do 9 over 90. Okay, so before you can even think about changing those into a percentage, like we did earlier, you're going to have to simplify them. You're going to have to divide both of those by whatever goes into both of them. Make it the smallest it can be and then change it so it's over 100. Okay, and then once you've got your percentage for both, you can see who spends the greater percentage of their sports time doing athletics. Okay, so that's the first part. The next part of that question says, Erin and Jack are arguing over who likes playing football more. Complete Erin and Jack's arguments for them. Erin says, I obviously like playing football more because. So let's have a look at the football amount. So Erin played football for 60 minutes that week. and Jack played football for 54 minutes. So straight away, why do you think Erin is saying that she likes football more? Okay, have a think about those two numbers. Then your next part says, Jack says, actually, I like playing football more because, so for this one, you're going to have to work out your percentages. So you're going to have to work out your percentages for the percentage of time that Erin played football that week and the percentage of time that Jack played football that week. Okay, so remember, go up and have a look. So Erin played it for 60 minutes. And remember, her overall time was 150 minutes. So for hers, it was 60 over 150. And for Jack, he played football for 54 minutes. Oh, let's make that look like 150. Out of 90 minutes, didn't he? Overall. Okay, so for those ones then, you're going to have to simplify it. Simplify them, change them so they're over 100, see what your answer is, and then use that to help you explain why Jack actually thinks he prefers football to Erin. Okay? That's all of your main questions for today. And then your challenge question says, at a call centre, the phone operators are either given super, good, or bad ratings by each customer. The table shows the number of customers who rated 3 phone operators super, good, and bad. Can you use the information given in the table to decide which phone operator you think is best? Use percentages to support your decision. Okay, so quite a challenge there. So let's have a think then. So can you use the information given in the table to decide which phone operator you think is best? So you could add them up, okay, and then see what the overall amount is, and that would go on the bottom of your fraction, wouldn't it? So if you do 54, add 16, add 30, that would give your bottom, your denominator, and then you could do 54 out of that number. What percentage of their overall calls was super? What percentage was good? What percentage was bad? Okay, and then use that to help you work out which one would be better. Okay, I look forward to seeing all of you working out for that question because it's quite a challenge, but I'm sure some of you can have a good go. Okay, so good luck with all of your maths work for today. Just make sure you try your best. Remember, that's all you can do. Don't forget to take a quick picture of your countdown challenge and the rest of your work and send it to me on the email. And don't forget to log on to Timetable Rockstars. There's a battle going on at the moment between year 5 and 6. We are in the lead at the moment, but they could catch us up. So keep going. The battle ends tomorrow. Okay, see you all tomorrow.